I've been misunderstood for my entire life. And I want to talk about how I came to that conclusion. But I think it's pretty, regardless of how well I can explain it all, I mean, it's just the truth. Knowing how my life has been and turned out to be. When I came home from the hospital as a baby, I grew up in a trap house with me, my mom, my dad, and it was where I would see a lot of domestic violence. I would see my mom get beaten in front of me. Sometimes I would beat through a locked door. I could hear her screams and the sound of my father's fist hitting my mom over and over again. A lot of times it was near death, and I tried to save her, and that was really like the majority of what my memories were during that time. That's what my first memories were. It was violence, drug abuse, and video games. That was one thing that was good about that time. I was introduced to video games as something that me and my father would spend time doing here and there. And I fell in love with it forever, and that really, those two things shaped me for the rest of my life, especially as a kid. The first was, getting into video games. It's some nerdy shit. And the games that we had at the time, there was some of them were more ones for nerds. And that's really what I got into, and ended up becoming a nerd myself, which is a big reason why people in the future would misunderstand me. Because even though that was something that I liked and, it was part of my personality, I was going through a lot, and I'd been through a lot, even at a very young age. Seeing what I seen, feeling what I felt, it really gave me two options. And my story, isn't anything new. What I've been through isn't anything new. There's a lot of people that can relate to it. And we're given two options. One, which is what most of us end up going to, even though we may not consciously be making that decision, is we become those same people that hurt us, or that we saw that were fucking up bad. We emulate that. We become that. We use, the anger that, all the shit that's going on that makes us angry. We use that and we turn that on to other people. And we just continue on the cycle of whatever fucked up shit, your parents or the people raising you were getting into. We usually just do the same thing. Or it influences you to become and be a nicer or a better person, because you know what the evils of the world are. You've experienced it, you've been there, and you know how much it hurts other people. And I know how much it hurt me. I know how much it hurt my mom. to see the one person that I really loved and cared about, that I knew would care for me and it was there for me. And seeing all of what she'd been through, I didn't want to become my father. I didn't want to become somebody that would hurt other people the way that we had been hurt. So I made a strong effort to be a nice person. I didn't really want to be violent. Seeing the type of violence I've seen, I wanted to stay away from it. And I paid attention in school. I knew that my mom, it was just me and her, single mom, one kid type shit. It was like me and her against the world. And whatever she wanted, whatever she said, it goes. And so, she would say, pay attention to school. Okay, I'm going to do it. Because at that point, there was a lot of situations where I had experienced life or death, in particular with me and my mom, trying to keep her away I didn't want her to be hurt or killed. So whatever she asked of me, I did it without question. Because I knew if I didn't do it, then there would be serious consequences. And without me knowing it, that would bleed into even the small, or just everything that she asked of me, the small things. And one of those things was paying attention in school, So I did that, I paid attention, I did the work. To me, it was easy when you think about it. And honestly, it's elementary school type level shit. Like, it's not that hard. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. So all of that turned me into this nice, smart kid who didn't get into trouble. And to everybody else, I wasn't that kid that was going through shit or had been through shit, like they were. I was just some goody two-shoes who was nice and innocent because he'd never been through any hardships. And he was coming from a happy home and there was money and they never had to struggle. But it was never like that. It was never like that. The truth was, I was going through just as worse or worse shit than they were going through. And I was just as poor or poorer than them. I just dealt with it differently. And you don't come out of that being completely normal. I started having real personal problems. That's when my chronic anxiety started. Because everybody didn't like me. Everybody was looking at me in a negative light or did something against me. I was so self-conscious. I just didn't want people to keep looking at me and treating me that way. And I started having depression because I was going through all this and I didn't really have a way out or a way to fix it or somebody to talk to about it. And then I started having suicidal thoughts by the age of 11. It just felt natural. It felt easier to think that I'd rather be dead than have to deal with all the problems. And knowing that there were so many and there was so much, and there were really no options for me. It was probably better if I was just dead. And then I started thinking about what I could do to change that. I had to stand up for myself, show people that there wasn't no bitch in me that they thought there was. I had to show people that it wasn't what they thought it was. I wasn't trying to be the shitty person that my father was and hurt people the same way that he hurt me, that he hurt my mother. So I gotta show people my gangster. Just plain and simple, I gotta show people I'm really a man. I'm really somebody that deserves respect. And you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to do to me. Or you can't say whatever the fuck you want to say to me. So when I started to do that, the people that knew me growing up, that knew of me, they didn't understand that. They didn't want to believe it. And they didn't know me. None of them knew me. So now, even though I'm proving them wrong, I'm doing things to show, hey, this is who I really am. I wasn't accepted, even then, because I was already looked at as different. So I had money to make. There was respect I had to earn. There was things I had to go and do, and I had to go and do it. And I did it by myself. If there was one thing that all of it taught me, it was that it didn't matter. If I was gonna live this life, it didn't matter whoever thought of me the wrong way, whoever was trying to stop me, whatever was fucked up or trying to stop me, I had to go and get it. I had to make something of myself. Whatever I wanted done, I had to get done. But because of the same reason that I was outcasted and treated differently, was the same reason I was able to do those things in the best way possible. That I didn't have to fight or shoot, fuck over or hurt every single person that I met just to get by. I talked and I acted with respect for everybody that I met. My whole life they told me you had to give respect to get respect. And that's what I did. And I was alone. But you don't get by in these streets by not connecting with people, by not being cool with the right people. And I did that. And I earned that respect. And I showed everybody that did me wrong, that fucked with me, that turned their back on me, that didn't respect me. I proved them all wrong. I showed them that I'm more than just that character. I'm more than just whoever they thought me to be. Then and now, I still have love and respect for the people that don't believe in me, that talk bad against me, that did things against me, that hurt me. I still have love and respect for all of them, for the people that know me, for the people that I grew up with. The same way that it is with everybody else. It's still love and respect. And when I was starting to prove everybody wrong, when I was really showing people, my body started to break down. Life, I felt like I had won. I felt like all the odds that were put against me from home life to family to society to the streets to everything. Everything was betting against me and working against me, and I felt like I was winning. Like I had beat all of it. I was starting to beat all of it. I was getting the respect and the money that I deserved. I was starting to have the life that I deserved, that I was working for. And then life turns around and fucks me over in ways that I can't control. All the injuries, all the car accidents, all the wear and tear, all the bullshit that putting up with my body and it's breaking down. And now I'm forced to stay in the bed for the majority of the day. I can't really do anything anymore. Even though mentally, emotionally, I'm all there and I'm wanting to keep just proving people wrong, keep showing people that I'm more than I wasn't able to do it anymore. At least not enough. And a few opportunities, a few chances I did get, I did show up, I did prove them wrong, but it wasn't enough. In my time, it would never be enough. So now, at the end of my life, when it's all said and done, I'm still just as misunderstood as I've always been. I'm just as much of a failure as I've always been. And I'm still proving people right. And I didn't do anything to deserve it. I didn't make it this way. Just when I was winning, just when I beat it all, everything was in my power to change it, and I did. I was doing it. And it was all taken away from me without me having any say to it. Without one fucking thing I could do about it. It really made me wonder if it was meant to be any other way. If that it was meant to be this way. But I hope that with these videos, whether you knew me or not, you get to understand me a little bit more. There's a lot of people who know of me but don't know me. And they got their stories all fucked up. If you like this video, if you were entertained by it in some way, or if you feel like doing something good, doing a good deed, please donate to the fund that's set for me, my funeral costs, and the large amount of medical bills that I've built up over the years. Those are still going to be there after my passing. And my family is going to be left to deal with it. And we really don't have the money to do it, to pay for them. So if you have it in you, if you have anything to spare, please do. There's a GoFundMe link that you can send the money to. Whatever you can do to help, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you.